Hello, Fluffs and non-fluff. Welcome back. Today's video is going to kind of be a follow-up or a series kind of similar to what a lot of other furries have. But exactly, how do you be a furry? Well, most of you probably think, well, you just own a fursuit and that's it, you're a furry. That's where you'd be wrong. According to fur science, the pretty much leading reporting and analysis tools of people taking those studies and surveys for asking furries questions and other things, only really 15% of people who claim to be furries have a full fursuit. Everyone else, there's about 50% or more that say they don't have one yet. And then the other percentage is they don't really care to have it. Having fursuit does not define being a furry. But what does? Well, honestly, that is up to you guys. Literally, the most basic qualification is just liking animals and their anthropomorphic forms. Simple as that. Nothing else. Doesn't matter if you have a fursuit, if you even have a sona. You could consider someone a furry if they identify as liking anthropomorphic characters. Now, you can get into a little more detail and saying, well, there are a lot of people that do, but don't identify as furry, and that's very well fine. But that's just the baseline, pretty much the baseline for actually considering yourself a furry. Well, what's the step after that? Well, after that, can go along different ways. Let's say now you really want to be more involved in the fandom. That means maybe you get your Sona commissioned. Maybe you don't. Maybe you draw it if you can or are capable. Or maybe you just kind of write one into existence. Maybe you're a writer and can really detail, jot down the lore and the backstory of your character. It can honestly be whatever you want in that aspect is kind of coming into the beginning stages. But what after that? Well, after that you may well like wanting to start showing off. Maybe you made a really cool piece of art. Maybe really just want to meet like-minded people and hang out and talk about things that otherwise you wouldn't talk about with your normal friends. And that's when you start maybe getting involved in your local community. I know ones that we have around here is a lot of bowling meets and sometimes occasional gallery hops, which a large group of people go around and into the different market areas and essentially just parade around. There's a few other events that usually our group does, but that's just to name a few. It may vary from place to place because some places, well, they have anti-mask laws and other things that would prevent you from wearing something like a fursuit head or what have you out in public or without prior consent of the region where you're in. But unfortunately, can't really do any of that, anything with that if you live in a state such as that. Ohio, they don't give a fuck. So come to Ohio, be an Ohio fur, come swarm the market. But well, let's say you do live in a state that allows such activities. Well then, what then? You go to those groups, you feel left out because you don't have a fursuit, and you see a lot of people that do, or at least a few people that do. And but what else is there? Well, you have ears that you could get, you have tails that you could get, and you have paws or other things of that nature that you could use or wear. Other people may not even dress up at all and just identify. Maybe they have a badge that they commissioned. Maybe they have a binder full of art that they made or have commissioned or what have you. Doesn't really matter. You don't need any of that stuff to fit in. It's just all about finding common interest and actually getting to know people. But I mean, if you're really wanting apparel, there is a whole bunch of options that you could do down the line. As I said in the past that I showed off, there's the furry mystery box. You can usually get a free shirt from there. Well, not free, but usually get a shirt from it. Pretty decent quality and have different anthro characters on them from various either shows or creation. Um, you could make a shirt or um, commission a shirt. I know, like, for example, for my makers, Lemon Wrap, they offer various commissions. They have the Kigus, they have the fursuit, but they also do stuff like hoodies and jackets of various things that you could also have. They've done some really cool designs that I've seen. Have little uh, jackets or hoodies with wings and tails. Definitely would love to look into something like that at some point. Ears and tails. If you're going for more of a partial look, maybe you don't want a full-on feature like this because obviously it can be pretty pricey. Just watch my unboxing video. I think I talk about the price there a little bit. Um, but yeah, there's so many other ways to kind of represent that once you get into those local meets or groups. And honestly, from there, it just goes into whatever you want it to be. It is what you make it. It's not a set defined feature or defined by anything. If it's something you want to identify as, it could just be as simple as you saying it. So don't let others convince you otherwise or tell you that you're not a true furry, when in fact it's more from the heart or from what's inside, not from what you show outside. Fursuits are luxury. Peripherals are luxury. Only get them if it's not going to put you in a bad situation, because then what's going to happen when you can't pay your rent because you decide to buy something stupid? Then you can. Until next time, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.